Hey everybody, welcome to Big Balls Fantasy Football, the only show with powerful picks, sexy super fans, and is really fun. I am your host, 20-year fantasy veteran, Greg Reifsteck.
And I'm your co-host, Jenna Lee Borick. We're both Chicago Bears fans. As you can see, we have our gear on. And I'm also a 10-year fantasy veteran. And together we are the beauty
and the beast
of fantasy football experts.
So we usually start the show talking about the Bears, but last week was like a competing for your job game, which a lot of people lost their job on the Bears squad. A lot of third stringers, and way to go, Johnny Football, for kicking the crap out of our practice squad. We really appreciate you teaching them a lesson. You know, it was kind of like watching Sandlot football, where the bully, gets the ball and just kind of passes all over the place.
Yeah, and I don't even think a lot of our second string was in. I think it was mostly third string that was in the entire game. So, it obviously wasn't a game that mattered. Most of the fourth preseason games aren't really games that matter. It is just people fighting for their job. Yeah. And in that way, personally, it matters for those players because all the rosters had to be cut down as of Saturday. The final rosters are out, and the season starts this week.
The season starts this week, everybody. It's week number 1.
Yay!
Thursday night football, everybody. We got the Packers versus the Super Bowl champs. Sorry.
I would like to see the Packers go 0-1. That would make me happy.
I think we already know they're going to go 0-1. I already congratulated Prost on the loss when they put it on the schedule. That's how confident I think I am. We all saw Seattle's D in the preseason. They're just monsters. This is going to be a scary season for any team that plays up there, and thank goodness we might not have to do that.
Oh yeah, we already did it in preseason.
Much later.
So we definitely don't have to do it during the regular season. Mm-hmm. And, it just seems Russell Wilson is getting better and better in that offense every year. So I'm definitely excited to see how that offense runs. They have Percy Harvin this year, who was injured through basically all of last season. So it should be an interesting matchup, though, for sure.
So let's get into the draft. The biggest balls of them all, Part 2 draft. Ta-da! There's the results, everybody.
Big draft board.
Yeah. The only draft that I know of in our area that had lovely Jen Lee here and lovely Smash, Ashley. We did a little bikini shoot beforehand that you guys have seen some of the pictures of online, and you'll get to see more and more pictures as the season progresses.
Yeah, we like to kind of update our theme, and this year we went with the bikinis, and everyone was a little bit sexy in the shoot. So it was an absolutely fun shoot to do, and then we had the draft, so we pretty much just left our bikinis on. And we have a little clip from the draft to share with you all. Hey, it's Jenna Lee. We're at the Big Balls Fantasy Football Draft, and I took Golden Tate and Ben Tate last year. I can't remember the rounds or the order, but I did it again this year. So Golden Tate is gone and in the 10th, and Ben Tate is gone in the 11th. So it didn't work out as I planned last year, but they're both on different teams this year. Golden Tate's the number 2 wide receiver. Ben Tate's the starting running back this year. So I planned for it to work better.
Why don't you give us a rundown of the first round real fast?
And the first round, as you can see, I had the first pick. And so LaShawn McCoy went first, of course. We are in a PPR league. Then Adrian Peterson went. I'd say that was a little surprise from my spectrum. But Jason got him.
AP24.
Then Prost, who's on Skype, if you want to say hi to the camera, Prost.
Hi to the camera.
So we Skyped Prost in, and he decided to go with Matt Forte, even though he's a diehard Green Bay Packer fan. And next we had Cash, who's also on Skype on another computer, and he went with Eddie Lacy. So we had a Green Bay Packer take a Bears pick first round, and we had a Bears fan take a Green Bay pick first round. That was kind of interesting. Then we have Shell, who we have to auto draft for, and he got Jamal Charles. That was a surprise. I took Charles in the second round of my other draft. And then we had Megatron go with Ryan. Get Ryan. He's here.
He's actually here. He's not on Skype this year. He's here. He's a Los Angeles citizen.
Yeah. So we had our first wide receiver go, Megatron, Greg the Beast.
Hey, I took the Beast because I do Beast mode. What can I say, man? He was the best running back on the board. I don't know. I don't like DeMarco Murray. He sometimes gets a little injury prone. So, but then in round 8.
So that was Beast mode, and then in round 8, Ashley. Hi, Ash.
Hello, went with DeMarco Murray, best on the board. I know you're saying injuries, but I'm having faith this year. I'm having faith.
Hey, he only missed 2 games last year. I had him last year, and I ended up in the championship round. So, Ashley, I think that's a good pick for PPR. Dallas is going to be running the ball.
What do I know?
What does Greg know? So, anyways, that wraps up our first round, and this is where we're at in the draft so far.
So, yeah. Interesting first round in the draft, I thought. And then, of course, you tated it up again.
I did again, and I have much more faith in it this year than last year. I did it last year because they were both on contract years, and I know players usually try to play extremely well in their contract year to get a big contract. Well, they both did get contracts. They both went to different teams. Golden Tate, obviously, from Seattle to the Lions, and Ben Tate from Houston to the Browns. So I think it's going to work out better this year. I think they're both in better positions. Ben Tate's obviously going to be the starter, which he wasn't the starter. He was behind Arian Foster in Houston. And Golden Tate's in an offense that's going to pass the ball a lot more. And Megatron always sees that double, triple coverage. So, hopefully Golden Tate will be open. So I'm stashing them both on my bench. I might have put Ben Tate in my flex position, but for the most part, I don't need them as my main starters. So, I got a couple weeks to kind of see how they do.
Yeah, I'm happy, very happy with my lineup. I can't complain. I have some really good, strong running backs. I love that I got Zach Stacy. I'm telling you, people, Zach Stacy is my guy. And, of course, I had to pick up Darren Sproles in a later round because I look at him as my good luck charm. I think I've had him on my team every season. I think I even had him as a rookie.
This is one of the seasons in many that I haven't actually had him on any of my teams, so it was kind of interesting. But I got LaShawn McCoy back on 2 of my squads this year, so that was pretty awesome. I haven't had him in a little while. And then we had 2 drafts actually in a row, 2 days in a row this weekend. So we had a little bit of fun, a lot of drinking in one of them.
And I apparently, I finished the draft.
I
finished the draft, but we were doing a shot every 4 rounds, and I'm a beer guy, not a liquor guy, and I haven't even seen the picture yet. Here it is.
Greg took a little bit of a nap.
Yeah, man. Drafting is hard.
It is hard.
I'm gonna be like a chick. Drafting is hard.
And it was our last draft both of us had, so it was very relaxed and a party draft.
We did back-to-back drafts, one day right after the other. Bikini photo shoot, drinking the day before all afternoon and all night, into the night, and then drinking the next day.
It was a good holiday weekend.
I was embarrassed being the Beast and passing out. But, even the lion needs to sleep tonight.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying. All right. Well, let's get down to some serious business. We actually have a listener question, and what we want you guys to do is give us your listener questions on Facebook, or you can tweet them to us, or you can just hashtag Sexy Superfans. That's going to be our new hashtag for this season. We're also going to start a photo contest later in the season, but we just want to get it going with some fan questions. So, at Big Balls F Ball is our Twitter feed. You can go to our Facebook page, Big Balls Fantasy Football, or you can reach us, at our website, bigballsfantasyfootball.com. Can you leave us a message there, for crying out loud?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we want to do it so that we can, give a shout out to you guys that are asking some questions, and so that we can answer them on the air. Our show always goes up sometime on Wednesday. So just get us your questions for that week before Tuesday, because we film on Tuesday. But the answers will be there Wednesday before the Thursday night game, before Sunday, so you will definitely have your answers. So let's get right into it. So this is from Eric Conrad. from Chicago, Illinois. So a Chicago person has our first question, which is kind of fun.
Good to get one from a Bears fan.
It is. So this was a trade that went down in his league, and he said a lot of his league had a problem with it. And so he wanted to know from our standpoint if we thought the trade was fair. So he had Brandon Marshall, Ben Roethlisberger, and Chris Johnson, and he traded those 3 players away, and he got Megatron, Matthew Stafford, and Terrence West. So tell me, just from the trade standpoint, what you think about that trade.
Well, I say we go step by step. I mean, Brandon Marshall, Megatron, of course, Megatron is a little better, but I call that a fair trade because, each of them is going to ball out this season.
Yeah.
So you're going to get your points. They both have good quarterbacks passing to them. They're both in good offensive schemes. That it's kind of that. I think that's kind of a wash.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, Marshall always gets a lot of looks from Cutler. Mm-hmm. We know what he's capable of. The one thing that goes against Megatron is he's double covered a lot. I mean, he's so amazing. He still makes plenty happen on the field.
Yeah.
But the other thing is Alshon is over there for the Bears. So, the Bears are a little harder to double cover when you have 2 big receivers out there. So, but I agree. I think that's a pretty even one, especially from last year's numbers.
What do you think of the second tier of it?
The second tier is Roethlisberger for Stafford. I definitely think he got the better end of the deal on that. Stafford, fantasy-wise, is a top 5 quarterback with the yards he normally puts up. Now, they are under Jim Caldwell, so their scheme is going to be a little different. We don't know if he's going to be, the gunslinger that he has been.
Right.
But they're going to let him throw, so I definitely think that that's the stronger quarterback out of the 2.
He has so many more weapons to go
Yes.
to. So many more fantasy weapons to go to. And yes, I mean, Stafford was injury prone that one season, but he's been holding pretty solid the last few. Roethlisberger, about like game 8 or 9, you can ask any Steelers fan, they get a little itchy.
Yeah.
Because he's getting up there in age and he's getting creaky, and you don't have to put up with having to switch gears in the middle of the season. You want to, so yeah. Definitely Stafford was.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a better one. And then it was Chris Johnson and Terrence West. So,
I mean, the jury's out on Terrence West. He's a rookie.
He's a rookie, and he didn't perform as well as they expected him to in preseason.
Right.
They are going to throw him in there and use him some. But yeah, we just haven't really seen what he can do so far. I would lean toward maybe Chris Johnson being the better deal in that one.
I would too.
But the Jets, the Jets backfield is a mess as well.
Right.
It's by committee. There's Chris Ivory there, there's Powell there. So, it's again, Chris Johnson is going to get touches, but he's not going to get all the touches. And he's on a new team, so we really don't know what he's going to do this year. So that one, even though I would lean toward Chris Johnson being better, is a little bit of a toss-up.
It's a toss-up, but I would go more towards CJ just because of the experience.
Exactly. So, but I think so now I'll give kind of the rundown of his team. This is what made, I think, the rest of the league upset. Not so much the trade itself, but what his team looks like after the trade. So, from what I know, he now has Matthew Stafford, Megatron, he has Dez Bryant and Julius Thomas.
Ouch.
So I think the league is just upset that he's stacked as far as those positions. I don't know what his bench and his defense and things like that look like, but having Megatron and Dez Bryant and then throw Julius Thomas in there is pretty intense.
I don't know who talked that other person into the trade. It sounds like a novice league person.
So
I think somebody got had.
Yeah, so because of his squad, he did end up getting the better end of the deal. I don't know what the other squad looks like, but the trade I think was fair. Just looking at the 3 players against the 3 players, it was fair. Sometimes it's just the end product isn't what you like.
Right. Yeah. Wow. That's a stacked ass team. That is not cool. All right, let's get into the cool stuff, though. Let's get into our picks of the week, everybody. And we're going to have Beast Mode, 3 Beast Mode picks this week coming right at you. And we're really going to work the ball scale this season. So We have new graphics in the ball scale. We'll mention it, and we'll be showing that on our graphics. And, of course, we're going to have Jenley's Real Men.
All right, let's get into it.
All right.
I need a real man. Have you seen him?
Hi, and welcome to my Real Men segment, the first of the 2014 season. As you can see, Zoe is going to be helping me out with my segment every week. She's got her cute little Bears jersey on. She was in the photo shoot this weekend as well. So you'll see some fun pictures of her. She's always going to be helping us on the show. So for the Real Men, I did it a little bit different this season. Or this week, for that matter. I'm giving you 2 picks, and then I'm giving you 1 player to sit and don't play. And of course, I'm giving you the reasons why behind that. So let me start with the picks for this week. My first pick is tight end Scott Chandler, and he is a 4 on the ball scale because I doubt that any of you really drafted him in your draft this year. He's a 4 because he's a guy that you could pick up on the waiver wire if you don't have a strong tight end, and he should produce some good numbers this week. He was targeted a lot in the preseason. Unfortunately, E.J. Manuel is the quarterback, so all those passes didn't get caught, but he was definitely targeted quite a bit in that offense. He went 4 for 40 in the second preseason game and 3 for 40 in the third preseason game. So he did get some catches, but I was definitely looking at how much he was targeted. Another reason is they play my beloved Bears, who are having problems in the middle of the field. If you've watched our show, we've said it over and over and over. Our linebackers and our safeties have not proven that they can get it done this year yet. So that opens up that whole middle of the field, which your tight ends typically work a lot. And if the Bears do have a pass rush, which we're hoping because we did fix our defensive line, that means E.J. Manuel is going to have to get the ball out quickly. It's going to be a lot of short passes in the middle of the field is how I see them moving the ball. Also, the Bills need to get their offense going. They're 25th in the preseason. They couldn't put points on the board. Their defense is pretty good, but Chicago is going to get some points on the board. That offense is going to get rolling in Chicago. So the Bills are going to probably be playing a little bit of catch-up and needing to throw the ball more. They're definitely going to need to score. And they don't have a lot of elite receivers as well. Sammy Watkins should be playing, but he was out for a lot of the preseason, so he didn't get much time. He is a rookie. I just think Scott Chandler is a great pick for this particular week. Again, it's a ballsy one, but he might produce some good points for you at tight end. Let me move it on. My second one is wide receiver Calvin Johnson, Megatron. I feel like I always talk about him the first week of the season. Maybe I do. But he is a 1 on the ball scale. He's a guy that is never going to be on your bench unless he's not playing. He's had 4 seasons in a row with over 70 receptions and over 1,000 yards. I'll take that any day. He's had double-digit touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 seasons, and they're playing the Giants this week. Now, the Giants' D wasn't that bad against receivers last year, but this is Megatron we're talking about. And what I envision is the Giants' defense getting a little tired in this game because I don't think the Giants' offense is going to produce very much. They were absolutely horrendous in preseason. They looked terrible. Eli Manning didn't look like his timing. I think he completed maybe 1 or 2 passes in all the preseason games, and they had an extra preseason game for that matter. So their offense doesn't seem to be clicking, which means they won't stay on the field, and their defense is going to eventually get tired. And it's hard enough to guard Megatron or cover him, for that matter, when you have full energy. When you're getting tired in the game, I'd say forget it. So I think he's going to beast out. They're also playing Monday Night Football, and it's at home for the Lions. What better place for Megatron to beast out than week 1 when he's healthy and playing at home on the big Monday Night Football stage. Now I'm going to give you my don't start. Me and Greg are going to trade off with these this season a little bit. But this is a person that is not going to produce for you, so don't make the mistake and put him in your lineup. My don't start for this week is running back Lamar Miller. Now, a lot of people might throw him in and start him because he is the starter on their depth chart, but there's a reason that they went out and got Noshawn Moreno. Even though Lamar Miller's the starter, they're not convinced he's the guy for them. So they went out in free agency and got Noshawn. He only had a 3.4 0.4 yard per carry average in the preseason. That's nothing to really talk about. Their O-line was horrible last season. They do have a new group there, but, you know, again, I'm not going to trust it on the first game out. These offensive linemen haven't worked together very long because they did replace some people, and they were just atrocious, and you need an offensive line to be able to make holes for the running back, of course. Miller is supposed to be their first and second down back, but it's looking like Noshan's going to get the ball on the third downs and for passing downs. So if you're in a PPR, that kind of leaves Lamar Miller out there probably not catching many passes for you. And it's a divisional game, which these can be fantasy nightmares sometimes, as we talk about. It's against New England. New England is going to put up points. That's never a problem for them. So again, you know, Miami could be playing from behind a little bit, and Lamar Miller is not going to be the guy out there catching a lot of those balls. So he's a guy that I'd say if you have him, keep him on your bench. You really need to see what's going on with that backfield during the first 2-3 weeks of the season to even see if you could put him in a flex position, but I would not chance it this week. So that wraps up my real man for the week, and we're going to give it on to Greg, and he's going to do his beast mode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Balls Fantasy Football. Thanks generally for those great real men picks. I'm going to get into my beast mode segment, give you 3 guys that definitely have to be in your lineup this week. Well, actually, 2 that definitely do, and one of them going balls out on you this week. Jen Lee has her little cute doggy, and we all love Zoe, but I have my own mascot. Yeah, good old John Belushi from Animal House, so I get to have my mascot too. Anyway, let's get on with the picks. My first beast mode pick is Frank Gore. Easily a 1-ball pick. As we say on the show, a definite no-brainer. Going up against the Dallas defense that gave up the most points fantasy-wise for running backs. So there you go. I mean, you just have to play the matchup. Everybody I've been talking to at bars has been coming to me and agonizing over their opening lineup. And in years past, I've always switched around people. Go with the matchups, people. Week 1. Just do it. Figure out what your team's doing, and it's never going to do you wrong that first week. We all know Frank Gore's getting up there in age, but Kaepernick isn't connecting with his receivers very well. There have been a lot of reports about communication problems. So I think that Harbaugh is going to rely on the defense and just run, and pound that ball. So also their backup running backs haven't really panned out the way Harbaugh has thought either. So go with Gore. I say he's a sure thing this week. My second beast mode pick is Percy Harvin on the Seahawks, playing against Green Bay this Thursday, my Thursday special. Definitely a 2 balls pick because you're just playing the trends here. You know that Percy Harvin is going to get a lot of balls. I'm predicting he's going to get at least a touchdown. What the hell? I'll make a bold prediction. I think he's going to get 100 yards this game. And the reason why is because Green Bay's secondary has gotten really soft. They gave up the 8th most fantasy points for wide receivers last season. Also, Golden Tate is out. So that means more balls for everybody. More balls for Baldwin, more balls for Percy Harvin. And as Jen Lee has already said in the beginning of the show, he's fresh off of an injury. Let's keep him out of injuries, Pete Carroll. Let's keep him fantasy gold this season. And I know our buddy Trey is hoping that too because we all know that Trey is in love with Percy Harvin. That's just the way it is. My third beast mode pick this week is a 3 balls pick. And the reason that is you're picking up the backup player in an injury situation. Everybody knows on the St. Louis Rams, Sam Bradford is out for the season. If you didn't and you drafted him, you're a complete idiot and dump him onto the waiver wire. But, of course, you did your homework. Of course, you didn't take him. But if you have a bad quarterback to defense matchup this week, like you're going up against a really horrible defense, take a balls 3-pick gamble on Sean Hill the backup quarterback of the Rams. He, of course, backed up. He was the backup on the Lions. And when he was there, I mean, he threw 16 touchdowns when he came in for Stafford when he got severely injured. Unfortunately, he threw 12 picks as well. So we're going to have to watch out for Hill. He's a little rusty, but that's why you're only picking him up this week, and only if it's a bad matchup situation with your quarterback to the defense. So those are my Beast Mode picks. I want to thank you all for watching the show this week. We want you to watch for our balls, bikinis, and beer pictures that were from our Biggest Balls of Them All draft number 2. They're all going to be showing up. We're going to revamp BigBallsFantasyFootball.com this week. We're going to have a Kickstarter campaign coming up next week. We want you guys to help out the show, make it an investment, help us out, and that way we can do more fan segments, we can do more contests, and we can do more for you, make the show a little bit more fun. You can also look us up on Facebook at Big Balls Fantasy Football. Just type it in. We're the only ones on there. And also tweet us at BigBallsFBall. The other thing I'm pushing for this season to help fuel our hashtag Sexy Superfans promotion is we're going to be all over Instagram this season. I'm going to be having Jenny take pictures at the bar. I'm going to be taking pictures at the bar. Smash is already like an insane Instagram person, so we're going to be Instagramming it up this season, all right? Thanks a lot, everybody, and have a good night.